Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Flocks and Nest Sports Podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Brendan, repping 54, Bobby Wagner of the Seattle Seahawks. Today, we're going to be previewing their Week 3 matchup versus the New Orleans Saints. This game is Sunday, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. Should be a great day. Hopefully, the Seahawks play well, come away with the win. Obviously, the Saints not a great team, so this game should be easier for the Seahawks than it has been the past couple of weeks. So we'll get right into it. We'll start with a couple roster moves that they made prior to this game. So they, in order, re-signed Cody White to the 53, releasing Shaquille Griffin. Griffin then re-signed with the practice squad right away. And then today, they released Cody White to bring back somebody else. Cody White immediately re-signed with the practice squad, and they released Damian Martinez from the practice squad to make room. I'm assuming Martinez will eventually re-sign once everything kind of shuffles around, but they have not released who's coming to the 53. I'm going to guess it's just Griffin again. It could be a D'Anthony Bell or a Ty Okada. I guess we'll wait and see. But none of that information has been released. But I'm assuming it'll be somebody in the secondary. It could also be a running back. We'll get into that right now. Because the Seahawks injury report is finalized. So this week, there are 4 players with injury designations. Zach Charbonnet is doubtful with a foot injury. He did not practice at all this week, so I don't imagine he's going to play. That's why I think a running back could be brought up, could be signed to the 53. Probably Jacardia Wright. Nick Emenwari, still doubtful with that high ankle. He was limited on Friday's practice, but didn't practice the rest of the week. Beyond that, I'm assuming he's not going to play. He's also listed as doubtful. So we'll see. Julian Love did not practice Wednesday or Thursday, but practiced Friday. In limited, he's also listed as doubtful with a knee or with a hamstring. So hopefully, this isn't anything serious. I don't think anybody listed as doubtful is going to play. So I don't think any of these 4 guys are going to play. I think they're going to hold them out this Sunday against a slightly easier opponent so that they're back for Thursday Night Football against the Arizona Cardinals. I think that's kind of the game plan. But we'll see. And then Devin Witherspoon with an injury was limited on Friday but didn't practice the rest of the week. Is also doubtful. So everybody's doubtful of the 4 with designations. I don't think they're going to play, which really sucks. The Seahawks are going to have 3 players in that secondary hurt, and then Charbonnet, obviously the 1-2 punch with Kenneth Walker, not great. Everybody else is good to go. So Derek Hall, Torrey Horton, Josh Jobe, Ernest Jones, and Lucas, all good to go. Not being holed out, so that's all good. But that secondary has been kind of ravaged by injury. Hopefully none of them are too major. In McDonald's press conference, he didn't call them anything major, so no one's hitting IR, nothing like that. So that's good to hear. Hopefully it can stay that way, and the Seahawks can kind of come in and have an easier game against the Saints. On the Saints side of things, they've got quite a few guys that I think will be held out of this game. Only one's been confirmed, and that's Dylan Reduns. Their guard is out with a toe, but it seems like Tolise Fuaga, their tackle, hasn't practiced all week, but he has no designation. Trey Palmer, their wide receiver, has no designation. Devon Vele, Trevor Penning, and Chase Young all don't have designations, but Vele, Chase Young hasn't practiced all week. Vele was limited, so we'll see. They just haven't confirmed anybody's injury status other than Radins. So it seems that their offensive line's pretty beat up. So I guess we'll see what that looks like on Sunday. In terms of the actual game, this should be easy for the Seahawks. I understand there's no guaranteed wins in the NFL, but this Saints team is not good. You're at home. You're coming off a big win in Pittsburgh. You need to win this game. So it should be easier. The Seahawks are coming in with momentum. This is not a great Saints team. Hopefully, even with the issues in the secondary, we see this defense still just be able to perform at the level we're used to. I think this defensive line, if the Saints offensive line's hurt, is going to wreak havoc, which will help mitigate the issues on the back end. And as long as there's some starters on that back end, I think we're fine. As long as Bryant plays, as long as Joe plays, and as long as we keep Ernest Jones and then that defensive line, I think we'll be fine. And then offensively, no Charbonnet does kind of suck, but we saw Walker kind of take over in that game against the Steelers. I have faith in Holani to be a fine, just to give Walker a breather. So it should be fine there. And then defensively, like I said, as long as you have some starters, I think that defense will perform just fine. So I'm not too worried about this game. I know the Seahawks are opening up as 7.5-point favorites at home, so that's great. Obviously, the Saints team is not very good. That is why the spread is so large in terms of it's a touchdown, more than a touchdown. So I would expect the Seahawks to cover that. I really do. I think my prediction, I'm going to have them winning by 10. I think the Saints have been doing well to keep games close. I just don't think the Saints are good enough to beat the Seahawks in Seattle. Granted, the Seahawks cannot take this game lightly, especially with all the injuries. Key storylines, I don't really have any. Truth be told, with where the Saints are, this offense just needs to play like they did against Pittsburgh, and this defense just needs to play like they did against Pittsburgh, and be A-okay. I understand not having Love is a huge blow. We already seen what they look like without Evan Warney and Spoon. I think that's fine. Love is a huge blow. He's great on that back end. He's a leader in that secondary, so that'll be tough. But I have faith in Kobe, D'Anthony Bell, Ty Okada, those two guys, Bell and Okada, to come in and play well. And then, Bryant is a great corner, or great safety, so I think he'll be fine. And then, we saw what the corner group looked like without Spoon, so I'm not too worried. I think it's probably the right move for them to sit out for this game, knowing that we have Thursday Night Football coming up against the Cardinals. So I think all that is fine. Again, my prediction, I'm going to say Seahawks 20. I'm going to say Seahawks 30. I'm going to say Seahawks 30. Say Seahawks 30. Saints 17. I'm going to go with a 13-point win. Seahawks 30, Saints 17. I think the Seahawks are going to play well enough on defense. This offense, I think, is going to do enough, and I think this is kind of going to be the game that I think propels the Seahawks forward this season. I think this is the kind of game that doesn't make or break your season, but it kind of does. I think we saw this last year with the Seahawks loss to the Giants, who were not a good team. They were 1-3 coming into Seattle, and you kind of just saw the Seahawks play down to them. And with that loss, you could kind of see that, the Seahawks were going to be a double-digit win team, but not really do anything with it. And I think this is a very similar game to that. So I'm hoping, since we lost that way to the Giants last year, that we kind of corrected that situation and we take the Saints seriously, and we use this as a launching point to, hey, we're going to get the offense looking right, we're going to get the defense flying around, and it's going to look right going to Thursday Night Football against the Cardinals. So I'm not too worried about this game. I think this should be an easier one. So I'm really looking forward to it. Obviously, going to watch it. Going to keep a close eye on it, because I think this game is going to be fun for the Seahawks fans out there. I really do. So definitely go check it out. This is a shorter preview, really, because there's just not a ton to talk about. This is not a great Saints team, and the Seahawks should easily win this game. So, make sure to like, subscribe, comment. Let me know your prediction for this game. I think next week we'll have a much more in-depth preview because it is a bigger game for the Seahawks. So, make sure to stick around for next week when we do the real pod and then the preview for the Cardinals game. Again, should be significantly more in depth. Check out the main pod for my reaction to this game. Hopefully, it's positive. Because if it's positive, the Seahawks got the win. If it's negative, we might be having some problems. So make sure to check that out. And thank y'all for joining